Shulchan Aruch Siman Chov Zayin says that the tefillin have to be worn on the kiborith, bebosar hatofech shebezroya, on the biceps. In Siv Zayin, the Mechaber says that the mokom hanochas tefillin shel yad is from the center of the bone down to the elbow. And the Mishnah Berurah has difficulties. What does that mean until the elbow has to be on the biceps? The biceps goes all the way down to the elbow. The Mishnah Berurah says that even the Beis Yosef, the Baal Mechaber himself, changed his mind. And he writes in his Chibur, in his Hagoz Bedek Habayis that he wrote on the Beis Yosef, his own Chibur, that it doesn't mean all the way down to the elbow, but it means on the Boser Hatafuach, which means somewhat away from the elbow. Not the way it appears in the Shulchan Aruch. The Mamar Motche, he argues and he says that the Bedek Habayis he wrote before he even wrote his Psak in Shulchan Aruch. First he wrote the Beis Yosef, that's a Pirush of the Tur. Then he wrote the Bedek Habayis, and then he wrote the Shulchan Aruch. So when it says in Shulchan Aruch that he's supposed to put the tefillin all the way till the elbow, that was his last view. He changed his mind what he wrote in the Bedek Habayis. In the Bedek Habayis he says not all the way till the elbow, and the Shulchan Aruch says all the way down to the elbow. So we have to understand, what does that mean? There's a question whether we measure the biceps when it's contracted or when it is relaxed. When the hem stretches down, the biceps stretch all the way down to the elbow. When we bend the arm, the biceps contract and pulls the arm up, and it twists the arm and the wrists away from the body. And sometimes it's quite a big difference between the beginning of the biceps relaxed or contracted. Some people say that the Kabbalah is to be mahmir and to look at the biceps when it's fully contracted, and no lower than that would be the mokom hanochas tefillin. Others will tell you no, when it's totally relaxed, very close to the elbow. And some will tell you somewhat in between. Nasato devorecho leshurim. Perhaps this is the machloikes between the Bedek Habayis and the Shulchan Aruch. In the Bedek Habayis, the Beis Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Kar wrote that we have to look at the biceps when it's full contracted and moves away from the elbow. And no lower than that is the beginning of the heart, because the tefillin have to be level to the heart. But when he wrote the Shulchan Aruch, he changed his mind. No place says that you have to bend your arm and contract the biceps. In the contrary, the Mesoros HaGeonim is that tefillin should be placed from the center of the arm until the Atzil. Atzil is the elbow, which means we look at the arm when it's totally relaxed. And that's the way he writes it in Shulchan Aruch. And that is a shita from the Mamar Motche, that the mokom hanochas tefillin is all the way down until the elbow. The Mishnah Berurah does not follow this view, and he says that many people that have large tefillin, they will not fit between the center of the arm and the beginning of the biceps, bosor tafuach. Someone questioned this Mishnah Berurah. He measured on many children who they have short arms, and the biggest tefillin around will fit comfortably between the center of the arm and the relaxed biceps. So what is the Mishnah Berurah telling us? That there is no space between the center of the arm and the beginning of the biceps for large tefillin. But the answer could be, the Mishnah Berurah had a kabbalah that the biceps means full contraction when it shortens, and it makes the center until the beginning of the contracted bicep very short, and for the average person there's no more than 2 inches there. Therefore the Mishnah Berurah warns about putting the tefillin lower than that, and he suggests that we should put the tefillin in such a case partially on the upper half of the arm as long as most of the tefillin is in the lower half of the arm. So we have three shittas in Mokom Hanochos Tefillin according to the Shulchan Aruch. The shittas HaMechaber from the center of the arm all the way down to the elbow, very large space. Second shitta is from the center of the arm until the biceps in full contraction, making the place very, very small. And the third shitta, the shittas HaMishnah Brura, as long as roiv, most of the tefillin, are in the lower part of the contracted biceps, and a miyut of the tefillin on the upper half of the biceps, that's also kosher. And there's a third shita. The Mishnah breaks down what happens if somebody's missing half of the arm. He only has the upper half of his biceps. Can he still put on tefillin? The Mishnah says in Bir Halacha, yes, he could be somech on the shitas that hold that the upper half of the biceps is still kosher, and the Mishnah doesn't even suggest a problem with the brocha. So now we have a fourth shita, that b'shas adchak, the upper half of the kiboret is also kosher. Actually, Rabbeinu Hananel, he holds that the upper half of the biceps, all the way close to the armpit, is the ideal place to put on tefillin. And the truth is that from the Rambam is also mashma like that, because the Rambam says we're supposed to put the tefillin bebosor hatofech shebemarpek, in the biceps which are found in the armpit. The marpek, according to the Rambam in Pirush HaMishnayos, is the armpit. And Rabbeinu Gershon Oragoilo also holds like the Rambam that the armpit is the base hashechi and is the atzil and is the marpek. So when the Geonim said we're supposed to put the tefillin from the center of the arm until the marpek, Rabbeinu Hananel says the marpek means all the way to the armpit, and over there we know there is boser hatofech. So in the biceps, full contracted biceps, we have two shittas. One shitta holds that the lower half of the biceps is the real Mokom Hanochos Tefillin, and one shitta holds no, only the upper half of the biceps is the real Mokom Hanochos Tefillin. So the Arizal says, by wearing tefillin of Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam yachad together, Rashi should be in the upper half of the arm, and Rabbeinu Tam in the lower half of the arm, because Rashi is a vadai and Rabbeinu Tam is a sofek. But the Shulchan Aruch Harav follows the Shulchan Aruch, and he holds that Rashi should be put in the lower half, because the Shulchan Aruch holds that's the vadai, and the Rabbeinu Tam should be put in the upper half, because according to the Shulchan Aruch might be kosher b'di evet. To summarize, a Bal Nefesh should not wear the tefillin above the medium humerus bone and no lower than the full contracted biceps. With that, he will be yoytze the shittas HaMechaber, which is the shittas Rabbeinu Peretz Ba'al Hagoos Hasmak, who held that that is the real Mokom Hanochos Tefillin, and the Olas Tomit is Masber, he held that that is where the Mokom Halev is. When the hand hangs down, the heart level is from the center of the arm to the elbow. The second shitta holds no, like we know today. The heart is in the upper half of the arm, and the tefillin, according to that shitta, should not be worn lower than the center of the arm. And that is the shitta Rabbeinu Hananel, Rabbeinu Gershon Me'or HaGoylo, Rambam, Rashi, and the Rif. Halacha l'maaseh, b'shas adchak, a person can put the tefillin any place on the biceps, lekatchilo, into only one half. Which half? The lower half first, and afterwards the upper half.